Hello everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Inside Michigan Recruiting with GoBlueDesign. I am your host, GoBlueDesign, and as always, want to give a quick shout out to all my followers on Twitter, everyone who's subscribed to my newsletter on my website, and everyone who's registered an account with my website. Before we start, guys, I just want to talk about quick updates on my website. The VIP forums that have been established for maybe a week or so now, they have premium content in there, guys, VIP content, and it's free for anyone to access. All you have to do is go to my website, GoBlueDesign.weebly.com, go under the tab where it says login/register, and if you already have an account, you log in with your username and your password, and if you don't, you simply just register an account where you submit your email and a password and your name, and then you have access to the premium content that will be posted in those VIP forums, and for absolutely no charge. For the foreseeable future, I don't plan on charging anyone to get access to the VIP content. So I truly hope that a lot of you guys take this opportunity. I hope you guys do that. So guys, we're going to be talking about many different topics today. Going to give some updates on a couple 2016 targets and a 2016 commit. We're also going to be talking about the upcoming visits for many different prospects and the impact that those visits might have with those prospects' recruitment. And we'll talk about some other stuff later in the show, guys. So, wanted to get to a 2016 prospect that everyone's been keeping an eye on, and that guy is Amir Mitchell, athlete/wide receiver out of New Jersey. He's a top target for the Michigan coaching staff, and he recently just visited Ohio State at the Friday Night Lights, and he performed well. He liked the visit. From what I've heard, he really enjoyed the visit, in fact, and he's now seriously considering Ohio State as more of an option than he was before. And I personally think, guys, that people have been sleeping on Ohio State as an option for Mitchell. We got to watch out for the Buckeyes. They have been gaining ground in his recruitment. But I'm curious to see whether or not the Buckeyes will take Mitchell at this time, if he would want to commit to Ohio State. They're in good standing with plenty of other top receivers that are still uncommitted. So who knows whether Meyer and his staff would take Mitchell. In my opinion, he's a must-take, especially for Michigan. He's an amazing athlete. If he commits to Michigan, he may be one of the best athletes already on that team. He's just a must-take in my opinion. I really love Mitchell's game. I think he's a game changer, on the offensive side of the ball. He's definitely going to be playing receiver, and I just love the way he runs routes, the way he gets open. I think Mitchell would be a great addition for the Michigan 2016 class. And again, I just want to stress that I could be wrong, but I personally think that right now, Amir Mitchell is definitely going to be a Michigan Wolverine. Again, I want to stress that Ohio State is a very realistic option, in my opinion. I think people have been sleeping on them, and then that they've been saying he's a lock to Michigan, and that might be true. I don't know, but I personally think that we got to watch out for Ohio State. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go to Columbus and end up being a Buckeye, but right now I have him being a Wolverine. So guys, wanted to get to a commit. I wanted to talk about what's going on with Michigan quarterback commit Brandon Peters, the 4-star out of Avon, Indiana. Recently, some, questionable tweets, I guess you could say, coming from Peters' Twitter handle that kind of sparked a frenzy amongst Michigan fans that thought that maybe Peters was going to decommit or that he was wavering on his commitment to Michigan. Well, I'm sure many of you have heard now. Other outlets have now reported this. I reported this yesterday. I tweeted it out that there's nothing to worry about with Brandon Peters. Brandon Peters is staying committed to the Wolverines. I believe a quote came from another outlet today that's saying that Brandon Peters said that he would never decommit from the Wolverines, and I truly believe that. We got to remember as fans, guys, that these recruits, these athletes, they have social lives just like us, and not everything that they're tweeting, not everything that they're posting on social media is going to be football related. Not everything's going to be related to their current commitment status. So that's obviously about something else going on in Peter's social life. Nothing to worry about with Brandon Peters. He's going to be committed. He's one of the jewels of the class that Michigan has, and he's staying a Wolverine, guys. Another prospect I wanted to get to talking about is another Michigan commit, 3-star athlete commit, David Reese. He's an in-state guy. There's been plenty of rumors going around that David Reese would be decommitting soon, and if not soon, eventually, from Michigan. And there were plenty of reports saying that he was wavering. It is true that he had visited some other schools. He was visiting some other schools. But I'm here to say, I want to tell you guys that as far as I know, that's all false. David Reese will not be decommitting from the Wolverines. He's solid with Michigan right now. There was originally some concerns with Reese and the coaching staff. The coaching staff wanted to put Reese at fullback, and David wanted to play linebacker, the next position, which I personally believe is where he should play at the college level. I think he could be a great linebacker, great on the defense, on Michigan's defense. And that issue's since been resolved between them. It looks like Reese will in fact be playing linebacker at Michigan. And as far as I know, guys, I haven't heard anything that would make me think that Reese is going to look elsewhere or he's going to leave the Wolverines. Right now, guys, he's 100% committed. He plans to enroll early at Michigan. He's a Michigan man. Glad we have him. I'd put the possibility of him signing with the Wolverines at 99%, really. Reese is a fantastic guy, kind of an underrated guy that a lot of schools really, they brought him in for visits, and they wanted to see whether or not he would be interested. And I'm sure he's interested in some other schools, guys. We got to remember, these guys are making very important decisions in their lives right now. Very important decision. Probably the most important decision they've ever had to make so far in their lives. They got to decide where they're going to be going for the next 3 to 5 years. They got to decide what they're going to be studying, because we have to remember these guys are student athletes, student first. So yeah, these are very important decisions. So we can't really blame any of these guys for possibly just keeping their options open. Just maybe not necessarily wavering off their commit, but just wanting to see if other schools might be a better fit or not for them. We got to remember that, guys. David Reese, again, as far as I know, he will stay committed to Michigan. So, guys, next thing I wanted to talk about is when we might see the next Michigan commit and who that person might be. So, if I had to put a guess right now, that person in my mind is 3-star defensive back prospect Sir Patrick Scott. No, as far as I know, he hasn't been knighted yet by the Queen, but yes, his name is Sir Patrick Scott. He definitely has a case for best name of the year. Right now, according to new report coming from Scout, he has Michigan as his leader, and he's going to be visiting Michigan, for the barbecue at the Big House. And I would not be surprised at all to see him pull the trigger. And this affects the recruitment because I really see Michigan taking one more defensive back, and you have plenty of options, maybe 1 or 2 more, but 2 at the most, really. And you got plenty of options, guys. You have guys like Tony Butler, Lavert Hill, other guys who could see that spot taken away if Sir Patrick Scott commits, but I think Patrick Scott is an underrated guy. I think that would be a solid get for the Wolverines, and I think he likes the coaching staff. I think he likes Michigan. I think he's going to be impressed on his visit. So, and besides Patrick Scott, again, we could see Mitchell commit in the very near future. I posted a commit watch on Twitter the other day. That's still on for the next couple of weeks for Michigan. They could definitely see an addition or 2. Mitchell tweeted out that he would not be committing on any of his visits, despite speculation. Not sure if I really agree with that. Not sure if I necessarily believe it, but let's say that's the case. He is going to be visiting for the barbecue at the Big House. He confirmed that on Twitter. I would not be surprised to see him make a decision while he is visiting. And if he doesn't make a decision while he's visiting, I wouldn't be surprised to see him make a decision soon after. He said he's going to stick it out the rest of this month of July, and he wants to make a decision in August. And that's exactly that's exactly when I believe he's going to be making his commitment. That's exactly what I've been saying for a while. Mid-August, maybe even early August for him. Besides Mitchell, a guy we've been kind of forgetting about for a little bit, top tight end target, Nasir Upshur. He's going to be committing on the 8th of August. As far as I know, that's still standing. And I haven't heard anything that has let me know that he wouldn't be committing to Michigan as of right now. Michigan is still his leader. He canceled a visit to Florida State. I talked about this on another episode of the show. And Florida State was kind of running number 2 for him. So right now I would be shocked if Upshur went somewhere else. Right now I definitely think he's going to be a Wolverine. So things are looking great for the next couple of weeks. August is going to start off, in my opinion, with a bang. July, I think we're probably done for July as of right now. Don't see anything that could happen before the barbecue at the big house as of now. Mitchell was the one guy who I was believing may commit in July, but now it's looking more like in August will be the month that will bring a couple commitments in the first weeks. So guys, we were talking about barbecue at the big house. This is going to be a hub of where plenty of prospects are going to be visiting. Tons of guys are going to be visiting. This is great for the coaching staff. It's an opportunity to present your presentation, like your showcase to them about why they would fit in at Michigan, the fans, the atmosphere, the coaching staff. You're really trying to impress all these guys, and you want to let them have a fun time as well. But again, you're trying to gain ground in their recruitment. It's a great idea it's a great decision, that Harbaugh kept the barbecue tradition going. Of course, that was started by Rich Rodriguez. So we got plenty of guys that are visiting. Wanted to give you an update on who's visiting and possible impact that this visit could have in their recruitment. You got Detroit King wide receiver Donnie Corley will be visiting for the barbecue at the big house. That's pretty big news in my opinion. Hasn't really been showing much interest in Michigan, and according to many reports, he's not even considering Michigan. I don't think he's necessarily not considering them, but it's not looking great for Michigan. I would definitely bet right now that he goes somewhere else, either Michigan State, maybe Tennessee, maybe even Ohio State. But I think this is an opportunity for the staff to maybe gauge his interest again and see if he would be interested in Michigan. It's a great opportunity. This could definitely impact his recruitment. No matter what the Michigan State fans, they're all going to say, no, he's coming to Michigan State. And I agree, there's definitely a good chance he could go to Michigan State. I'm not denying that. But some of the Michigan State fans start getting defensive and stuff, saying that he's definitely going to Michigan State. There's no point he's going there. He's going there to commit to Michigan State. No, that's nonsense, guys. He's going there to have a good time, take a look at Michigan. And same thing with his teammate, current Penn State commit, kind of a soft commit, Lavert Hill. He's a defensive back prospect. Of course, his brother is already on Michigan's roster. And I truly thought he was going to go to Michigan. But he committed to Penn State. I think he committed to Penn State in January. And now tons of analysts have him flipping to Michigan State, going to the Spartans. That would be a huge game for the Spartans. He's a great player. He's a legit guy. But he will be visiting as well at the barbecue. And who knows? I've had some guys say that this isn't very significant. He may be just going to please family, hang out with a bunch of his friends, have a good time. But I think this could definitely impact his recruitment. In fact, pretty big news here. Again, Michigan State fans will deny it. They won't say it's very big news. But crystal ball flip prediction just came in favor of Michigan for Lavert Hill. Not really sure if that means much, guys, but I think that's pretty big news, seeing that the last, maybe 10 or so flip predictions for him have been going to Michigan State, and now all of a sudden the director of 247 Sports recruiting sites is now predicting a flip to Michigan. I think that's very big news, guys. And I think this could definitely impact his recruitment. There's an opportunity for the coaching staff to impress Lavert Hill and, of course, Donnie Corley. Those are the two main guys that Michigan's kind of looking on the outside in for those guys. Right now, I wouldn't bet saying that they would go to Michigan, especially for Corley. If we have a chance with either of those guys, it's probably with Hill due to the fact of the family connection. Everything was set up for this guy to go to Michigan. But, of course, he's committed to Penn State. Still a very realistic possibility that he goes to Michigan State. But everyone, the Michigan State fans will be the first to point out they're kind of counting Michigan out. I don't think Michigan's out of it yet. Again, this is an opportunity to impress Lavert Hill. I think they could gain ground in his recruitment, kind of gauge his interest again, just as Donnie Corley will be. So this is going to be probably a quiet end to the month of July, unfortunately. But August should see some very big names committing, and I'm seeing them go to the Wolverines. I want to talk about August. Again, I already mentioned Mitchell, as well as Upshur. Another guy we can't forget about is Devin Bush Jr., is reportedly going to be committing sometime during the middle of August. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to be ending up pushing that date back. He very, very well might. But as of right now, I see him choosing in August. And as I'm going to be posting in my next 2016 class prediction, the next edition of that, I would still be shocked if he went to Florida State. Realistically, he's down to Florida State and Michigan. But right now, Michigan holds the edge for me. So August is going to be a great month, I believe, towards the beginning and towards the middle parts of August. We could see something towards the end of August, but that'll be a solid month for the Wolverines. And then, not really sure about the next months coming up. They'll probably be quiet as well, because after this, you'll see a lot of Michigan's top prospects on the defensive end, guys like Caleb Kelly, Dontavius Jackson, of course, the number one player in the nation, Rashawn Gary. Their recruitments are almost certainly going to drag on for a while. I expect probably all of them to decide around National Signing Day, and if not, just maybe a month or two, before National Signing Day. So Michigan will have to stick it out with them. I believe Jackson is already scheduled, an official to Michigan. Rashawn Gary, you should expect Michigan to easily crack his top 5. He's another guy visiting. I believe he's visiting for the barbecue. He's had some issues with an ACT class that I believe he's taking on the same day. They're still working that out. But a source told me that the class is really nothing to worry about, that he should end up making it. But those recruitments, they're gonna drag on for a while. But in the end, right now, in my latest edition of my recruiting class prediction, which I will be releasing soon, I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek. I have those guys going to Michigan right now. Yep, all three. All three of those guys. 2 5-stars and a 4-star in Jackson, who really should be a 5-star. I have those guys going to Michigan right now. But if I had to bet on one not going to Michigan, probably would be Kelly, based on West Coast factor. Oklahoma had good ground on his recruitment. But also Jackson. Plenty of guys battling for him. But Rashawn Gary, I was talking about it in my class prediction. Again, I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek here. I've posted about it a little bit on my VIP forums, that I think Michigan is truly strengthening their position in Gary's recruitment. Things are looking great. Right now, I think Michigan has an excellent chance. Yes, excellent chance in landing Gary. Of course, the SEC is going to be really difficult to kind of sway him away from that. He likes the SEC style. Right now, I definitely think it's a battle between Michigan and schools in the SEC, such as Georgia, you got Auburn, and you have Alabama, who are those SEC players, and then Michigan, in my opinion. But in the end, right now, I have him going to Michigan, guys. So just wanted to let you guys know that, again, I've said this multiple times. I'm not sure, as a diehard Michigan fan, that anyone will ever be sick of of hearing me say this, but this class is looking great. I'm excited to see where this class ends up in the rankings. I think it's probably going to be a top 5, definitely a top 10 class, and things are looking great, guys. So I think we're going to wrap it up here. This has been another great episode of Inside Michigan Recruiting with GoBlueDesign. As always, for the latest recruiting news, follow me on Twitter. You can visit my website, GoBlueDesign.weebly.com. You can register a free account for the latest VIP access. And that's about it, guys. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Inside Michigan Recruiting with GoBlueDesign. I'm your host, GoBlueDesign. We'll see you next time. Go Blue.